What is going on, guys, and how y'all doing on this Saturday afternoon? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and for the first of two times today, we actually are, I don't know, change up the hand motions, I got sick of doing this, but we are live for my live review of this past week's episode of AEW Dynamite. The first episode, Dynamite review I've done in a month, because the last few have been like a special. Either the Fire Fest and Fight for the Fallen. Fire Fest, of course, was 2 weeks. Next week's Quake by the Lake. Yeah, I'm probably just going to just treat it like a regular Dynamite review. Not every single one of these, specials, I gotta treat it as, like a separate entity, from the actual episode of Dynamite. Because we gotta focus, of course, on All Out. Which, my one friend did mention this the other day. There hasn't been any matches official made for All Out. Well, only one I think that seems obvious to me right now. Well, a couple, actually. We're looking to get Jungle Boy and Christian Cage, which will be awesome. It looks like Eddie Kingston's challenging Sammy Guevara to a match at All Out. I still don't know how I feel about moving on Eddie Kingston from Chris Jericho, because Eddie Kingston really should have won this feud. At least they're getting the match between Moxley and Jericho at Quake by the Lake, because that's not really, we've seen it on pay-per-view already. It does need to be on pay-per-view again. But they may be teasing a rematch with Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. I don't know about that either. So, a lot of things seem a little bit in limbo for AEW right now. And I'm going to be honest, I think part of it right now is because of, the game-changing news of Triple H taking over for Raw and SmackDown. And, of course, it definitely has me more excited right now for WWE than AEW. But I don't think AEW sucks. I don't think it does, but I can feel the momentum. I was more excited this week for Raw and SmackDown than AEW, because I knew something new was coming. AEW is fine. The problem is there's just a lot of I think the biggest problem with AEW right now is there's just a lot of injuries, and there's so much, unknown speculation about WWE. You don't know who's going to show up now for WWE because Triple H is in charge, or who's going to get the pushes now because Triple H is in charge. It's gotten my attention again. So, yes, AEW may suffer a little bit from this. But, obviously, I think the wheels are in motion because Tony Khan does realize this as well. Which is why just a couple days ago, it was announced he did start hiring a little bit more of a creative crew. Some more people for talent relations, more people help with creative. Because keep this in mind again, he's technically doing stuff for both AEW and Ring of Honor, so he does need the help. He can't do this all himself. Getting a team together is going to help him as well, take a lot of load off his back. And plus two, again, he is a wrestling fan, so I think once he gets his team settled. And once he gets a lot of his stars back from injury, I think again AEW is going to be okay. Like I said, it's going to be having its exciting periods, its lower periods. Yes, the roster is completely stacked, which is why a lot of people are saying when the TV deals end next, Dynamite and Rampage both need to be 2 hours, which I do agree. Give them a little more TV time because there's so much talent here. Maybe a little too much talent, of course, at this point. So we got to, so it's definitely, some cracks are forming on the AEW brand. I'm not going to lie. But I still think the show's good. But I think they still got to, polish some things up and get a lot of these injured stars back. Once that happens, and again, there's still speculation. Some of these people who, did leave WWE could still go to AEW. Even though I feel like at this point, with WWE having like an open door and it's a place to go now, Vince McMahon is gone. He's not going to be, just like change his mind on scripts and just like completely ruining people's careers anymore. You can go back to WWE. The question is, though, some of these guys like the Johnny Garganos, the Bray Wyatts, even like the Sasha Banks, even though I've heard rumors that Sasha and Naomi are going back to WWE. I don't know for sure or not if that is the case. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, we'll talk about that a little bit more on the SmackDown. On the SmackDown review I do later on today. So again, the question remains in limbo is, are some of these people going to be going back or some going to be going to AEW? Even though, again, there's really not much space in the AEW left right now. I still like AEW, but again, the game is changing. So we're on the way to see where it goes. But AEW is still good, don't get me wrong. I still like it. But like I said, it does feel like, WWE is getting more attention again because that product is really freshening up again. But, I'm not going to stop watching AEW. I still don't really have an interest in reviewing NXT again right now. I really don't. I'm sorry. I just don't have the time. Maybe because I don't have the time, but AEW, Raw and SmackDown, 3 shows reviewing a week. I can do that. That's what I used to do. Well, 4 when I was reviewing NXT UK also, but I'm not going to go back there either. Even though I personally think NXT UK was a little more intriguing to me than NXT was before I stopped doing those reviews at the time. But, long introduction, but let's roll in and talk about this. Tyler gave the show a C+, and we got Wrestling News 365. What if CM Punk comes back next week and confronts the winner of next week's main event World Championship match and says he wants to the title match at All Out? It would be awesome. I just don't know if it's happening quite yet. I think Punk is just going to miss All Out. If he comes back, though, great. Jon Moxley, CM Punk, Undisputed Championship match? Let's go. I don't see it happening at All Out, but it still could happen. You never know. Tyler thinks that Jericho is winning the championship next week. Okay. I don't know, maybe, but I think Moxley's retaining. If not Punk, what if MJF came back and he beat Moxley for the title at All Out? That's possible too. But I'm not gonna knock on off Punk coming back either. Again, I don't think Chris Jericho's winning it. Like, again, I like Chris Jericho, but he really doesn't need it. I mean, getting a rematch is fine, because I still find it weird that, AEW does not really giving out rematches, really. Even though I'm mad about doing a Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa rematch, but, but let's roll in and talk about it. We still had some good stuff on this show. Again, I was close to giving it a B- for a grade. But then, of course, a moment happened and it's like, I can't give it a B-. This was good. Like nothing really sucked on this show. There was one, corny moment that I was kind of like, eh. But we'll talk about it in a second. It's nothing too major. It's kind of a minor nitpick. Also, since Samoa Joe doesn't really get TV time on Dynamite anymore, do you think that he'll potentially go back to, especially since Triple H is in charge now? I mean, if Samoa Joe was still a free agent, Triple H would drag his ass right back. Yes, that's no doubt about it. He did it. He brought him back to NXT when he got released before. But now I think Samoa Joe is more so going to be on the ROH product, I feel like, for now. So yeah, that's why I don't think Joe's going back yet. But I feel like some of these guys in AEW eventually could go back to WWE. Some people were saying the other day, I don't think he signed to an actual contract, but what if John Morrison and Taya Valkyrie go back? I'd be okay with that. Again, Bray Wyatt, Johnny Gargano are still definitely names out there talking about going back. Of course, Candice LeRae will do so. I think if Tommaso Ciampa is staying and he's getting a push, I'm more confident that Johnny's going back to WWE. That's how I feel. We'll We'll talk about that more, though, another time, though. Let's get and talk about this episode of Dynamite, because I do have SmackDown, and I'm doing more Seinfeld reviews tonight. Only 5 episodes. I got 1 recorded already. I got all night. I was supposed to go out today, but bad weather kept me in today. Anyways, so, and thank goodness it's not storming right now, because I wouldn't be able to do this live. Because I lost internet briefly last night, but we're all good. Anyways, let's talk about this show. So we opened up with a match with Orange Cassidy and Jay Lethal, which was a solid opening match, I thought, for sure. Lethal looked pretty good. The only part in this match I was kind of a little like, what the hell, by, was when Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh were on the ramp. But then, because it was weird, because you could see in the background that coming in through the babyface tunnel, whatever the heck it's called, you could see that there was someone there. So I thought at first it was Wardlow, because Wardlow was kind of involved recently with this storyline, which of course they did set up for a match for tonight's special Battle of the Belts 3, but it was not Wardlow. It was Trent 7, Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor coming out, basically one on top of the other, dressed up as like a taller person, basically to bring a fight to Satnam Singh's level. And Satnam Singh backed off, and I'm like, why the heck would you? I mean, I get it, it's a comedy thing, but I was like, why would you back off from like 2 goons being stacked on top of each other? We never see Satnam Singh really get physical, except for whenever he had his underwhelming debut in that match with Samoa Joe and Minoru Suzuki. So I was definitely a little like, by that. I thought it was strange. But the match with Lethal and Orange Cassidy was solid. And Jay Lethal does actually win with a lethal injection. And afterwards, Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh come down, and Dutt says how hard Lethal kicked Orange's ass. And then Lethal calls out Wardlow, because he's going to break Orange's leg with a figure 4 leg lock. And then, of course, best friends make the save, and, of course, Wardlow come out right behind them. The heels run off, and Sanjay then demands that Wardlow put the TNT title on the line against Jay Lethal, Battle of the Belts. And then Wardlow accepts. So, okay, fresh match there for Battle of the Belts. I'm not going to be watching it, but that'd be a fresh match. It's okay, yeah, solid victory, fresh match. I'll take it. Then we have probably my favorite moment of the night. The Undisputed Elite was advertised, and they came back. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Matt and Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks. They come out. Adam Cole's on the microphone and says it feels good to be back in the ring and back with his friends. Unfortunately, though, he's still not medically cleared to compete. And neither is Kyle O'Reilly. But he's taken this time to really process a lot of things. The success they've had, and the things they can work on. Because as a great leader, you don't just celebrate your success, you figure out what you can fix. It's not just leadership that makes a great faction. Chemistry, which they have in spades talent, which they're 5 of the very best. And most importantly, loyalty and fighting alongside your brothers, no matter what, they have that too. And he came to AEW because of the Young Bucks' loyalty. He's traveled the globe his entire career with Kyle and Bobby, which is also loyalty. It is power and success. It's everything. Which then brings him to the recently announced Trios tournament for the AEW Trios tag titles, which again, there's a lot of trios teams that definitely could make that a very well-built division for sure. He mentions again how he's not medically cleared and Kyle isn't medically cleared. And if the Young Bucks don't pick Bobby Fish as their tag team partner, they won't be allowed to be in the tournament. And they're like, well, why? Why can't we be in the tournament? And this is where I thought they were going to bring back Kenny. I was convinced they were going to bring Kenny Omega was going to come out with this. and they're going to make him a their tag team partner. And Cole was saying, I'm going to be going with Fish and O'Reilly. And at first it's going to seem like fine, but then it's going to just deteriorate and then no meet in the finals. Nope. They're splitting them up already, because Cole then says he apologized for not being clear. They won't be physically capable of doing the tournament. And then Bobby Fish starts choking one of the Young Bucks from behind. And then Adam and Red Dragon leave the Young Bucks laying, and they do a beatdown. And then, of course, they're about to do more damage to Matt Jackson's neck until Hangman Adam Page came out and made the save with a lead pipe. So it wasn't Kenny, it was Hangman who came out. Hangman gets back in the ring. Him and the Bucks have some history, but they teased something like last week when they first had that interview with Brandon Cutler involving the Trios tag titles. They teased something with Hangman and the Young Bucks, getting along again. And they did shake on it. And of course, now, as of right now, it seems like it is they're teasing a trios match with Adam Cole and Adam Cole and Red Dragon versus Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks. I've seen Adam Cole and Hangman Adam Page go at it several times already. I'm kind of hoping this leads to some way where they take out Hangman, and that's when Kenny comes back. Because I heard the rumors that they weren't going to introduce the Trios tag titles until Kenny Omega came back. So I think this is kind of like a ruse a little bit to set up Kenny's return in some way. But yeah, it was definitely a shocker. I didn't think they were going to split them up yet. Again, I thought the build was going to be slow, and when it comes closer and closer for the six of them to collide, then they would, of course, solidify that this is a complete turn. But no, they took them out already, and I was shocked. But we'll see, of course, what happens again. Because again, it doesn't look like Cole's cleared to fully compete yet. Because he did have a little bit of offense, but not much. Same with Kyle O'Reilly. So we'll wait and see. After all this, we have Jon Moxley hyping up the main event, which was the ROH Pure Champion Wheeler Yuta, fellow Blackpool Combat Club member, taking on Chris Jericho. And of course, if Wheeler Yuta beats Jericho, then he will get Jericho's title shot next week at Quake by the Lake. But Moxley cuts a promo and says in the main event, he don't care who win. He doesn't care. It's not a non-answer. He just doesn't care. When that bell rings, no matter who it is, he has no respect for his opponent at all, as he's trying to hurt them and paint the canvas with blood and teeth. He won't stop until someone goes to the hospital. Another word, actually, that was used in WWE this week was fans hospital, not medical facility. But he won't stop until someone goes to the hospital, even if it's him. Every day, no days off, and that's why he's the best. And the Blackpool Combat Club's going to make the Heart Dungeon look like a daycare. Both men know him and know they got to be prepared next week. And this ain't no game. So he doesn't care if it's his friend or his enemy. Either way, he's going to kick some ass, basically. Then we had this footage from earlier in the day of Christian Cage being interviewed and saying how Jungle Boy was raised by terrible people, and the proof is that he brought his personal life into it, which he claims he'd never do. But then Jungle Boy pulls up, and he literally looked like, I was convinced Jungle Boy was literally trying to run over Christian Cage with his car. But of course, obviously, Christian's hid behind security, and then Jungle Boy got out, and security held them back, so they separated them. As, they really brought back Jungle Boy with like a big vengeance on Christian Cage, as he's really looking to get his revenge on him. Oh boy, I really cannot wait for that match at all. That's probably the match right now that I'm the most excited about. Is that match right there? But of course, that was not the last we would see of Jungle Boy throughout the night. We then had a decent tag match, but I feel like we've seen it already. Thunderstorm, Tony Storm, and Thunder Rosa, the AEW Women's World Champion, taking on Team DMD, Britt Baker, and Jamie Hayter. The match was decent, but again, we've just seen it how many times already. And then Jamie Hayter hit a short arm lariat on Toni Storm to get the victory. So a lot of people are wondering if this is going to lead to a rematch with Britt and Thunder Rosa at All Out. Okay, but they were definitely, the story was built right for Thunder to win the women's title. I think a lot of people are just afraid that they're going to have Thunder drop the title back to Britt, which I don't think is the best idea, to be honest. Like I feel like also the ship, as far as them getting a rematch. Okay, this kind of goes completely against what I said before. It just doesn't feel like the right time for a rematch. Because again, I think a lot of people are afraid they're going to give Britt Baker the title back since they kept her far from it so long. I don't know what it is. I can't see Jericho beating Moxley right now, but I can see them putting the title back on Britt. Because even though, of course, they've gotten so many other women, there's still no one else right now that I'm that even when Toni Storm fought Thunder Rosa. Even though I didn't want Toni to lose that match, really, I wasn't completely convinced that she was going to win, because she still has, it still felt too soon for her to win the title. So, I don't know. That might be the match they go with, but I don't think Britt Baker's the one that Thunder Rosa should be dropping a title to. Quite frankly, I don't know who she should be dropping a title to. Because, yes, they still have a lot of names in that women's division, but I feel like not many of them have become the bigger stars that Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa have. Nyla Rose, I don't think is really the one either. So we'll see. The women's division again, we have big names: Toni Storm, Athena, Jade Cargill, Chris Statlander. It's just I don't think they're all ready yet to be at the very top right now. I don't know. It's just what I think. I feel like the women's division is still going in a little bit of circles with AEW, but that's just my opinion. Speaking of women, we get footage of Ty Conti and Sammy Guevara, and this is the feedback of their relationship, calling themselves America's favorite couple, getting the more heat on him. They're not on the show because they're getting ready they're getting married this week. Okay, congratulations to them. Then Eddie Kingston, of course, interrupts the package, mad about it, and tells Sammy, "Congrats. Nobody cares. What people care about is Eddie Kingston getting his receipt, and the contract is signed for All Out. So when he's done with his romance, check the mail and sign the contract for a match at All Out." Then we get ready for Powerhouse Hobbs to have a squash match against Ren Jones. But before that match happens, Taz is on the microphone and informs us that Team Taz is officially over and done with, and he wishes Hobbs, Starks, and Hook all the best, as they're all on their own now. Well, Powerhouse Hobbs, who had turned on Ricky Starks, still no explanation why, squashed Ren Jones. And then I didn't think that they would have Ricky Starks show up yet. I thought maybe they would at least have, Hobbs explain why he did what he did. But instead, we got the complete opposite. Ricky Starks did come out and ran down, and him and Hobbs got into a brawl. And that was basically it. We got no explanation yet as to why Hobbs did what he did to Starks. So we'll see. I don't know if this will be another match at All Out, maybe. I don't know if I really want it to be a pay-per-view match yet or not, but we'll see. We also get a promo with Miro where he calls Malachi Black a pageant and insinuates that he's evil and will reveal himself eventually. So that's still building to a possible match at All Out. That will be fresh and intriguing. Miro versus Malachi Black. Although some people think it could be teasing Miro joining the House of Black, but I don't think that's going to happen. As of now, in my opinion. We also get this program with Darby, this segment with Darby Allin, putting over Brody King, as Darby's taking credit for Brody getting hired by AEW. But now, of course, now that, Brody's taking advantage of him, trying to make a name off of him, So now he's going to shut the lid on him next week in a coffin match. I'm going to be honest, I think Brody King should win that coffin match. Don't get me wrong, again, I love Darby Allin. He's definitely, the newest face that I got invested in quickly when AEW first came around. They've kind of overdone it with these coffin matches, though. I feel like we've done too many of them. I need something different from that coffin match this kind of week. And I said, that thing is I think Brody King should win this week's coffin match. For something different. Because if not, then it's going to be like, okay, we've had a little too many of these too recently. I'm ready to move on to something different for, like a different gimmick match. Because we've had it how many times. So, we'll see how that goes. And then we have the match with Matt Hardy and Christian Cage, which of course was solid. Christian does win with the kill switch. But then afterwards, Christian slides a couple of chairs, a couple of cages, way off. A couple of chairs into the ring. And he was about to set up the concerto on Matt Hardy. But then Luchasaurus comes out. And it was all a distraction because Jungle Boy came out with a chair trying to get to Christian Cage, but then Christian manages to run away. And Jungle Boy is wearing a shirt that says Christian is a pussy, which is quite funny. That was a nice little thing there, just so you know, show that, hey, I'm still lurking around. But man, oh man, oh man. I think we're going to have to get a stipulation into this match. No holds barred, no disqualification, extreme rules, or something extreme. I feel like, they have to do some type of stipulation, because these two, this is a blood feud. These two want to destroy each other. So, I'm excited about this. This is probably the thing I'm probably the most excited about for All Out right now. Then we had Daniel Garcia being interviewed, who, again, he keeps raving about beating Bryan Danielson, and he's the Dragon Slayer, and he'll be happy to slay him again when Bryan is ready. So I guess they're looking for a rematch between Daniel Garcia and Bryan Danielson. We also get a video package of Pac defending his All-Atlantic title around the world. But then we get All Ego Ethan Page, who comes out and says, why ain't he on TV every week? Why doesn't he have an action figure? Why isn't he on the side of production trucks? He thinks he deserves better. Which, while he's ranting, Stokely Hathaway comes out. And Ethan continues to rant about how nobody buys his shirts. And finally, Hathaway gets his attention and gives him his card. Because I guess on Rampage, he also gave Lee Moriarty his card. It's strange, though, because isn't Page still part of the stable with Scorpio Sky and Dan Lambert? Well, isn't Sky hurt right now, I think? Might be another person who's hurt, I can't remember. But I guess that's to give him something else to do. Which, fine. Even though, again, Sky had, was kind of like a transitional champion with the TNT champion, unfortunately. Even though I definitely think he deserves like a legitimate run with the TNT title. But of course, it was definitely Wardlow's time, though, to have that belt. But I definitely wouldn't mind seeing the Men of the Year being like tag champs or something. But we'll see where this goes with this possible stable that Stokely Hathaway's building. Probably maybe another way to build up, unless he's going to take Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and Lee Moriarty and make them into a team for the trios tag titles. Maybe that wouldn't be bad. We also have a segment backstage where Angelo Parker, Matt Menard, and Anna Jay are being interviewed. Menard says it makes his nipples hard that Jericho's going to win the world title a second time, which Tony questions that, but then Parker berates him for not believing and says that the Jericho Appreciation Society keeps getting better. And Anna Jay is saying that she's the sexiest and the toughest, and she'll choke Tony Schiavone out, which she'll choke the camera guy out, and she'll choke some guy out, and she actually does choke out a cameraman, mind you, basically. Alright, first before we go on to the next match, let me look this up. What do we see here? see here. I gotta see the exact line. Come on, where is it? I gotta find what this rap. So the next match was a dumpster match between the Gun Club and the Acclaimed. And of course, now it looks like the Acclaimed have transitioned to baby faces. They're getting a lot of attention because the stuff that they're writing their raps about is like these big zingers that's really catching the crowd's attention. So no wonder why they're becoming cool and the crowd is loving them. But, oh man, where is it? Where is this? You know what? I'm not going to do it here. Let's look it up on my phone. Let's see if I can find it. I gotta find it. I want to say exactly what it says. Max Caster. Come on. Come on. Basically, what they said was that that they were going to retire the Young Club, like Vince McMahon or something like that, and it got a big pop. That of course Vince McMahon's name got spoken in AEW, of course. They've referenced WWE several times, actually saying like WWE or Vince McMahon or whatnot in recent months, like when MJF cut his pipe bomb after Double or Nothing. He even like called out how Tony Khan, hoards ex-WWE talent and whatnot, and says will he respect him more if he was an ex-WWE star or whatnot, which of course, the door is open for MJF to come to WWE now, as I firmly believe he may do so, if he doesn't come back to AEW. But I also, of course, like how, of course, whenever Jake Hager and Claudio Castagnoli were having a promo the week before their match at Fyter Fest, and Swagger mentions how Castagnoli's never won a world title in ROH or anywhere, not even in WWE. But of course now Max Caster just, references Vince McMahon in his intro, which is awesome. And this dumpster match was solid. Of course, the way you win is by dumping your opponent into the dumpster. Of course, Austin Gunn was the one who got tossed off the entry into the dumpster. And then Bowen sets Colton on a table. Mic drop off the tunnel and through the table. And then Anthony then tosses Colton into the dumpster as well. Afterwards, of course, they zip tie the dumpster, shut it, and push it down the stage and over the edge and into the pit. Hopefully, of course, nobody really got hurt on that, but that was definitely very nice. We also get footage of Mance Warner winning the Buckhouse Battle Royale at Ric Flair's last match, which I didn't watch, but I heard it didn't go too well. And of course, we're all informed that he's going to fight Jon Moxley on Rampage this Friday, which happened yesterday. We'll also have Madison Rayne debut on Rampage as well. And I think she's someone else who's going to be like a coach or helping out with the women's division as well, I heard. I think she's in AEW because rumors have it that Tony Khan's looking to hire Maria Kanellis to coach the women's division for Ring of Honor, is what I'm hearing. But we'll see. We also get a video package for Claudio Castagnoli, who's going to defend his ROH World title against Konosuke Takeshita at Rampage on Friday as well. And then we had the main event. It was a very good, hard-hitting match with Chris Jericho and Wheeler Yuta. Again, Wheeler Yuta in some ways is kind of reminding me of what Oney Lorcan was in WWE. He reminds me a lot of him, the way with his hard-hitting style and whatnot. But it was a good match, but Jericho then wins with the Lion Tamer. Instead of the Walls of Jericho, submits him in the Lion Tamer, putting his knee on the back of the skull of Wheeler Yuta and gets Wheeler Yuta to tap out. And of course, after the match, Jericho refuses to break the hold. In which, of course, before the match started, though, Jericho did come out with not all, but some. I think it was just 2.0, he came out with them, and then Claudio Castagnoli came out and basically said, hey, get out of here, or whatnot. But afterwards, though, Jericho refused to break the hold, and then Moxley came out to make the save, and Chris ran away with the mic in hand. And he calls Mox out, saying he just unleashed the demon and opened Pandora's box. But next week, he's going to get the Lionheart Chris Jericho, but he's going to stretch the shit out of Moxley and walk out the new AEW World Champion. You can guarantee that. And that's how we go off the air. Like I said, Mox and Jericho have had some good matches in the past. You know, their matches in WWE they had were good. Yes, the Ambrose Asylum match at Extreme Rules 2016 went a little too long, but it was still unique. And their match at Revolution when Mox first won the title was good. I don't know. I feel like, it's just too far past the time where we would want to legitimately see the rematch, but But yeah, that's Dynamite. I gave it a B. There was some, good story advancing. I really like the promo for Brody King and Darby Allin, even though, again, I'm a little done with seeing coffin matches, which is why, again, I'm hoping Brody wins that one instead of Darby for something different. Definitely the Young Bucks, getting, betrayed by the rest of the Undisputed Elite and Adam Page, coming out to even the odds with them. Of course, the Acclaims Vince McMahon line was awesome. Few other things, again, it was good. But like I said at the beginning of this review, I definitely feel that, with the change in the game, no pun intended, with WWE gaining a lot of momentum now, you can definitely feel AEW getting, the air let out a little bit. But like I said, Tony Khan, I think, is realizing that, and he is, reloading his weapons, and he's getting ready to, compete. He's ready to fight. He knows he's got to step up. But I feel like, what will be a big help, of course, is if a lot of these injured stars do get back. So we'll wait and see what happens with all of that. Okay, so let's check the live chat. A couple pieces I missed. Wrestling News 365 said, wait, so today we All Out's in Chicago. Ain't that Johnny Gargano's hometown? We might see him debut there. I thought Johnny was from Cleveland, I thought. Yeah, I thought he was from Cleveland. Hey, we're going to be in Cleveland next week for Raw. Just saying. Triple H should bring back Big Boy, Braun, Bray, and Samoa Joe. Braun may come back. I don't know. Braun still may not yet, because isn't he working with EC3, who... He'd be someone else I'd be interested to see Triple H bring back. EC3 and Braun Strowman, I'd be okay with them bringing them back. Do you think the Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage match needs a stipulation? Which I said, yes, it definitely does. Jericho should go back to WWE after his AEW run ends. And AEW has more injuries. Yeah, even before Triple H took over, Jericho was one person that I think will go back to WWE one last time before he ends his run. Who will he face? I don't know. But I think I definitely think he will go back. Someday. Not sure when his contract ends, but we'll see. But yeah, that's my review of Dynamite from this past week. I gave it a B. I almost gave it a B-. But I gave it a B because my favorite thing of the part of the show, segment of the show, was definitely the Undisputed Elite, cracking, and Cole, O'Reilly, and Fish turning on the Young Bucks. That was definitely my favorite part of this episode. We do, though, definitely need to get some momentum more going for All Out. Because right now, they're having too many of these Wednesday specials that they're too focused on. But we need to build the All Out. Because last year's All Out was one of the best pay-per-views I've ever seen. Ever. But I don't think we're going to be topping it off this year. But we'll wait and see. So, guys, that does it for my AEW Dynamite review. Stay tuned, as, of course, I still have my SmackDown review to do. We got some stuff to talk about there as well, as it'll be the first SmackDown review I do since August 20th, 2021. Which, of course, ironically, was the night CM Punk came back. I'm pretty sure that was the last SmackDown review I did. Because the last Raw review I did was August 16th. And the last Friday, before SummerSlam last year, it was August 20th. And that was the night that CM Punk came back. So, wow. It's been that long. We'll talk about that in a little bit, guys. I'm reviewing a Seinfeld review after every other video thing I do tonight. So, I'm going to do a Seinfeld review, and then I'll be back up here again soon, and maybe within an hour or two. Not sure yet when exactly, but I will be reviewing SmackDown today. Make sure also stay tuned, of course, for those Seinfeld reviews and my next Harry Potter Let's Play. I'm going to try to do that tonight as well. Again, had a free day today. Was originally supposed to, spend time with friends, but bad weather cut my plans short, unfortunately. So, yep, I got all the day, the time in the world. So, guys, I can't talk now. I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all soon. Have a great rest of your day. If I don't talk to you guys, peace out, everybody.
Yeah, no, I will surprise. There's no escape.